idea, actually works gets done faster. It's binary, so delegation is easy, everybody's accountable, everything can be seen. So actually it works very efficiently, but I miss that analog chaos, a little bit of people meeting and disagreeing and things like that. But it was a lot of, for me, a lot of tech know-how that I had to, put into my kitty and learn to go from one software to the other. And even with the dancers, to put the whole conference together has taken us a long time. Also because we are perfectionists, we don't want anything going wrong. So there have been, rehearsals going on, and also checking different technology, trial and error. It's been a learning curve. The whole ritual of gathering people and feeling the pulse and performing is what we all do, and suddenly there is physical distancing, right? Not just social distancing. So we have, I'm very honored to have the panel that I have, which is Mahesh Dattani, the famous playwright, theatre director, filmmaker, who also happens to be our ex-chairman of Natya Institute. We have Lynn Fernandez, who heads Nrityagram, and herself is a wonderful production designer, curator, and an institution builder. And we have Shivani Wazir coming in from Delhi, who is again a dancer, a promoter, a curator, a presenter, a compere. All of us are in the field of sharing our work with live audiences. How is this going to affect us post-COVID? Because we don't know how long this is going to take. Of course, it's not as apocalyptic as it's sounding as I'm talking to you now, that there is a brighter side and how we're all adapting, and we're all a resilient bunch as artists. So what are we going to do? Then we have a short film made by Sneha Kapana, edited by our team, which is about the folk artists of Karnataka. Karnataka has many dance forms that people are not even aware of: dance, theatre, operatic, ritualistic forms. And these artists are right now, as it is, they are in penury. They're from marginalized communities. And now they are like daily wage workers. So perform at a ritual, at a function, go by your rations. Now that's taken away from all of us, right? So, and especially in the rural. This panel is called Looking, Watching, Seeing, the Changing Optic of Dance. So in answer to your question about how is dance going to be viewed now, I don't know how many months it's going to be before even 40 people can gather in a space and watch. So that means we have to adapt ourselves to something new. Everybody is turning to the net like never before. And so when you transfer a performance, which is a 360 space, a dance 4-dimensional into a camera, what are the changes? As a choreographer, composition-wise, as a costume designer, all the people involved in production design, how are they going to view this? Because everything changes, right? You can't suddenly have a performance with 50 people on stage or a big ensemble cast. There are fewer people. What kind of fabric do you choose? Some things are not friendly on camera. What's going to happen? And like small things like shooting horizontally, watching dance on a phone, how that whole optic changes is what this panel is discussing. I think it's very relevant. As it is, the folk artists of our country are sort of invisible. We only see them when, there are big political gatherings or some dignitaries coming, and these poor artists usually dance outside the space, in the garage area, parking area. And then once the dignitary comes, they are like kind of shooed away, given a cup of tea, and they have to take their buses back to their villages. Very rarely are they given the main stage as it is. What's going to happen now when people are not going out and watching things, or people are not going to gather? You'd ask a leather puppet person, why isn't he preserving his puppets well? He says, do people come from the city and then tell us, maybe give us some money, document us, and they go away. Look at these villagers, and he pointed to all the villagers who had gathered. They want to watch the television serials. They want to watch movies. Who wants to come and watch a leather puppet performance? So art is getting consumed very differently over the years. And now with reality shows and everything else, it's, the glamour. To me, reality shows sort of exist on humiliation. And that's how you get your TRP ratings. How do we introduce these forms back? How do we not just document them, but create perpetuity of that legacy? It's a question to ask all of us. And I think people who are more tech savvy than me can find ways to stream their work of these artists once they are allowed to go out and meet people. And maybe we should all join our minds and come up with a scenario. Because right now it looks bleak, but I'm sure something positive can come out. Yes, detox I did, and I think that helped me tremendously because there's so much information, blitzkrieg coming towards you and doomsday philosophies. I got off social media for almost 9 days, completely. I was barely checking email, and I think it's at that time that this idea of birthing this festival also happened online, a digital dance conference. And one day, I switched off my phone. I completely switched it off, and it was blissful.